back, everybody, to our Overwatch for Charity High June qualifiers. I am Blank, and I'm joined here by Cool Range 101. Cool, how's it going?
It's going great, Blank. Thank you for asking. What about you?
I'm doing swell. I mean, my heart rate's still roughly at 120 from the series I literally just played in.
Yeah, that was an intense match. I watched the entirety of it.
Oh God, I'm kind of scared to watch it back. But hey, speaking of series to watch, we are a little behind on schedule, so
Yeah,
might as well just talk
off as fast as possible.
Exactly. Might as well just kind of get right into this one. We got OK Boomer facing off against the Redditors, and I think this is gonna be a pretty spicy one here because I think a lot of these players have a lot of history in the various tournaments I've seen them in. So
Yeah, most definitely. I recognize a lot of names here.
Yep.
Yeah, I pretty much recognize everyone here actually. This is going to be an interesting match.
For sure. I mean, on OK Boomer, we've got, for example, my co-caster usually in Druid, name that sticks out to me most, obviously, but also just a ton of players like, I mean, Stein and Zoroaster, Dr. Sensible, who just won the last OESL season, and Stein, of course, as well, won the last OFC. So, you know, really, really kind of stacked lobby here on both sides, and I'm excited for what we're going to see here on Ilios.
Yeah, most definitely. Ilios, a map that we might see a lot of boob plays on. I remember last time we had a boob counter, if you remember.
Ah, yes.
That was a lot of fun to keep up with.
For sure.
Maybe someone in chat can start that again.
Absolutely, yeah, alongside the bingo that we got going. But of course, before we go in, it's obviously very important to mention that, you know, these teams, like all other teams in our tournament, are playing for charities. So just a reminder, Redditors playing for Fetch and Releash, a volunteer-run dog rescue that's dedicated to saving dogs in need, making sure that through a network of trainers, veterinarians, and foster homes, making sure dogs get loving homes that they deserve. And OK Boomer on the other side, playing for Easter Seals Ontario, another incredible cause that does work for young children and young adults that have physical disabilities, and ensures they get the support they need, and even sets up summer camps for them and their families, which is really awesome to hear about. So two great causes that these teams are playing for. Definitely be sure to check them out. As looks like we're about ready to go in here. Cool.
Yep, of course. And just a quick reminder, donation links are both in the description that will donate to the overall pot. But you can also go to the individual charities by, what is it, ! Charity?
I believe so. Dr. Ice and Sammy in chat, I'm sure, can correct me. My brain again is a bit scrambled eggs from the series. But yes, definitely check those causes out as we are kicking it off here on Ilios.
Yep, definitely one of my favorite maps, I'd say, out of the... And honestly, all the Koth maps are pretty good.
They really are. See, Ilios is a... Sorry, yeah, you go.
I was going to say, like, they're the hardest to kind of screw up, I guess, when both teams have an even playing field.
Right, yeah. You know, it's just like, it's good, honest Overwatch. There's no... You know, like, you think of certain 2CP maps and why people don't necessarily love them. They're like, oh, because the defenders have this natural high ground advantage or this choke. But, you know, honest 1CP. None of that.
Yeah. Just everyone go for it as fast as you guys can.
Absolutely.
No attacking, no defending. It's just one.
Just headbutt. But speaking of going for it fast here, I mean, if we look over at the side of Redditors, J-Prod and Rigel rolling out on that classic Tracer Genji. It's a bit of a dive DPS combo with Hog Sigma tank line, whereas on the other side, the classic Winston D.Va dive coming out from OK Boomer.
Yep, most definitely. And both teams kind of beating here on the right side of Ilios, as J-Pod just gets blown up out of the air by Narcan. What a nasty shot. But both teams are kind of in like this little stalemate, trying to go for picks here as Zoroaster takes out Chinflex. So now blue team will have to deal with will have a Pharah with no mercy here. And yeah, both teams kind of slowly aggressing onto point. No one's really taking this too fast, despite both teams having some pretty fast characters, like the Tracer Genji match we discussed earlier. Well, now it's just McCree.
Yeah, I mean, both these teams really jockeying for point position. Cap Ready really opens it up by diving on J-Prod there. With that boop on Zoroaster, despite Dr. Sensible's best efforts, I think in the long run it's looking pretty good for blue team here. Or, sorry, blue team. Goodness, OK Boomer. I'm too used to casting Pugs. That's been a hot minute.
Yeah, it takes a second.
But as I say that, I also caster curse them because red team actually managed to flip that around. Red team, I did it again!
The Redditors. Red for Redditors. Come on.
Indeed. So Redditors looking really strong here. There was a lot of kind of jockeying for pole position there. I think Narcan in the Skies, a storied Pharah player, did a lot of work kind of creating room, forcing Redditors into cover there. But the longer fight is won out. ultimately, especially after they're able to take out the Mercy like you called. So now 24% for Redditors.
I mean, I don't know if you noticed, but near the end of that fight, Stein landed a nasty sleep onto Narcane straight out of the skies. But I was talking about last fight, the next fight's already started as Zoroaster and Old Stoneface are taken out right as the fight starts. Actually, include J-Prod in that list as well, as he is swiftly taken out by Narcane with the assist of that Pharah altar build from earlier. But blue team just seems to be storming across this point, killing people, killing Redditors. Well, I said blue team again.
I've infected you, cool. I'm very sorry.
You've infected me. No, I've been casting pugs for the longest time at this point.
For sure. But yeah, OK Boomer looking really good here. Kind of the Narc duo, if you will, of Narcane, Narcissus, really doing great work. The Matrix there as well to support the barrage, making sure the Pharah lives. So now 20% for OK Boomer is Captain Ready holding the door, but Tank Ults and the Nano are available for Redditors here. So they've got an opening if they use those well.
Ults coming in from both sides as Dr. Sensible being the first to pop one, taking care of Socks early. J-Pod popping the High Noon and take... Oh, no. Druid also pops the High Noon. Wait, no, that was Druid's High Noon. I am completely lost here.
It's a bit of a slugfest here. Lots of trades going either way, lots of ults going either way, but when all is done and dusted, it looks like OK Boomer is standing tall here. Zoroaster with a last-minute whole hog actually gets nanoed as well. And a barrage. Cool, what are we watching?
The barrage gets canceled out by Zoro's nano whole hog. That was an ult mess I've ever seen one. But both teams burning 3 or 4 ults each. That was an ult fiesta there.
Yeah, but what a heads-up play from Stein and Zoro. I think 9 out of 10 hogs would not go for the whole hog there in that situation. Down, I think, about 4 players or something along those lines. But between the nano and just the knockback, sorry, yeah.
The blue team already for an early engage since they're trying to, I guess, get back in here before the respawns of the Redditors. But Narcade and Chinflex getting taken out by that one nasty hook off of Zoro.
Yeah,
so absolutely being a menace on this hog right now.
Definitely. We can see how once they take the point here, Zoro and Dr. Sensible can do so much work in kind of just holding the doors here, right? Between the poke of the Sigma, the threat of the hook. It's really hard for Captain Ready and Co to like really find a good kind of spot for an engage when they have so many ranged threats to deal with just on the entry. So yeah, here I think we have to look to Sox's Nano to find an opening with.
Yeah, most definitely, especially with the dive comp they have. They're going to have a hard time engaging against the Hog Kree where they just want to get early picks and keep backing off. But once they're in, the early fight definitely goes on to the... I almost said blue team again. But yeah, as Captain Ready dives into the backline with that nano, as you mentioned, but Old Stone Fates hops the beat just to keep everyone alive. Bits of damage coming in from each side as Stein takes out Socks in a bloody Ana battle. But Narcane...
Yeah, Narcade's out as well. Druid takes out J-Prod, but it might be all for naught. It's just Druid and Captain Ready left on point. Narcissus does join. The Nano's out too here. This could be last fight for OK Boomer if they're not able to turn this.
What a massive flux, taking out Captain Ready's entire health pool with 1000 HP. That's not easy, but that flux definitely taking out 550 of it, making it a whole lot easier. But Zoro popping the whole hog, just zoning everyone off the point, and they're unable to touch for a final recontest. That's round 1 gone for the Redditors.
Yeah, great stuff from them. It's really like with Hog Sigma with the Hog Sigma setup, you just have to be getting constant value from the hooks, from your fluxes and such, and also your whole hogs. And I mean, because otherwise your front line, quote unquote front line, isn't all that durable, right? If you've got a Winston in your face, potentially with Nano and got a Diva backing him up, either of those targets can be shredded. So just huge props to Redditors for making that work. Of course, Stein hitting those purples he's famous for, and the rest of the Redditors doing what they do best. Here on
Redditors just the Redditors just don't let them get a fight. But whenever there's a fight going on, I feel like the OK Boomers just have an advantage, especially with that more overall coordinated team comp. Whereas the Redditors just kind of want to pick them off and end the fight before it even begins.
Right.
And as we saw multiple times here.
Yeah, speaking of traditional comps here, we've got a Ryan Zarya with a Pharah as well of Narcade. Takes out J-Prod immediately, and I think the Pharah here could do a lot more work on this open point.
Yeah, most definitely. With there not being a lot of cover like there was on the well map, where they have the little right cage to pile in too whenever there's a Pharah spam coming in. On this point, they really have nothing, as the point's mostly open except for like the few supporting pillars. And talking about the point, the fight is making its way onto the point, as Red Team is sweeping up some kills. But I said Red Team, but OK Boomer already has the point. But the Redditors are making their way on and getting picks as they do so, forcing the remaining members of Blue or OK Boomers, which is just Narcade and Chinflex, and they're just having to back up. Both Chinflex and Arcane are just kind of stuck on this little high ground here. The entirety of Redditors know they're there, but they're going to be able to make an exit here, it looks like, as that far into the sky, no one can really shoot at them or take any poke damage at them.
Yeah, Rigel actually goes for a cheeky blink off of the side high ground and tries to contest them, and it was actually Rigel with 2 picks in the last fight that really opened it up. Druid does take out JProd. Can they capitalize on this?
I mean, it definitely looks like it, as the OK Boomers are moving in fast. Stein getting a huge ante onto both tanks of the Redditors. Both the tanks falling, and now it's just an easy cleanup here for the OK Boomers. What just happened?
Yeah, that was, I mean, fast as lightning there. I may have missed it, but the pin coming in from Captain Reddy, immediately taking out Zoro. And with that, OK Boomer have built up a ton of ults. They used basically nothing on that one. That pick on JProd early on from Druid really galvanized OK Boomer to take a lot of room there. And I mean, I mentioned this earlier, right? But the front line, quote unquote, of Redditors against the Rein Zarya on paper, it shouldn't really work out if they're kind of able to coordinate their aggression here.
Yeah.
So now Redditors on the outside looking in.
Something more interesting going on here is that the Zarya is helping OK Boomers a lot, cleansing the antis coming in from Stein. But I don't think they're actually going to be doing much against a nanoed whole hog, because a bubble only having 200 HP, not doing anything with the nano whole hog, as Zoro takes out 3 that fight, unfortunately taken out by the barrage from Narcane, but that'll be the fight for the Redditors. That was one of the fastest fights I've ever seen.
It's wow. These two teams they have such wildly different playstyles that makes fights so unpredictable. And it's
you'll see like a 6-man anti coming out for one team, and then all of a sudden that same team is dead.
Right, exactly, yeah. So now JProd's kind of caught out here, but Narcissus I don't think has enough charge to actually capitalize on that, and Zoro actually punishes extending Zarya here. OK Boomer already down 1, but Druid trades.
OK Boomer is now up 1, getting a pick onto Stein, who was trying to ego duel Narcane on the Pharah.
Of course.
But the Narcane with the Mercy Bot comes out on top, and Captain Reddy coming onto point, swinging with his nano on the Nano Ryan, unable to get much value from it, as the Redditors just have so much damage and take care of him really fast. But now it's an even fight here, as respawns coming in from both sides. But I think OK Boomer's gonna win this up 2 here.
You're absolutely right here. Druid with 4.
With a massive 4K right there. 2 headshots and 2 body shots. We love to see it.
Absolutely. The play-by-play caster, he'll fire off the words, he'll fire off the shots in game 2. And a huge props to Chinflex for getting off a very greasy res to actually bring Druid back into the fight. Afterwards, McCree is able to clean it right back up. So 66% and counting here for OK Boomers. This is far from over here, Cool.
Yeah, it's definitely unpredictable. And as I say unpredictable, Zoro gets a hook onto Sox in the backline. Captain Reddy going in to save Sox, actually gets a pin onto Old Stone facing the Lucio. And it seems like OK Boomer has 3 picks now, as Druid absolutely going off in the kill feed once again. Killing 2 and assisting in 2 more. OK Boomer up 5 here and aggressing, not letting Stein get out. Poor Stein just trying to lead this fight.
That's massive. That is a massive pick.
Yeah, Narky is saying no. Zoroaster trying his best to get some value off the whole hog there. With the entirety of OK Boomer in his face, he won't be able to do much. And a reverse of last match happening, or last round happening, where this time the Redditors aren't able to touch from the pure pressure of OK Boomer.
Absolutely, yeah. Here, so we called this last time, where once OK Boomer got the point, their comp was theoretically poised to hold it a little bit better, but it's on Lighthouse where we really see that kind of come to fruition. There's just so much more geometry for Narcane to work with, sight lines for Druid to work with, and it seems Redditors really kind of like to play a sort of almost, I kind of want to call it a deathmatch style. They're all kind of like doing their own thing and just hitting you from all angles. It's like full-on guerrilla warfare.
They turned the team fight into more of a skirmish where everyone's just kind of fighting a 1-on-1 or 2-on-1 fights, and them just being able to come up with an advantage after a 1v1 is insanely advantageous, and then they just kind of deathball it from there.
I think the idea is to just really confuse sort of tight-knit teams and make it hard for them to really pick a point to be aggressive towards. There's a better way to phrase that, but hey,
there's a better way to phrase it. Exactly. One team opting for more of a deathball style comp, the other team is running more of a skirmish. But OK Boomers with the deathball already having some point presence here, whereas the Redditors are kind of going around for picks with Zoro all the way in their backline, and the rest of the Redditors kind of just spread around all the way across the point. And the first pick comes in from Dr. Sensible. The first 2 picks come in from Dr. Sensible on both Narcane and Sox. Narcane getting rezzed, and Dr. Sensible getting another pick onto Chinflex.
Oh my goodness, he's gonna take them all out of this right.
That's 5. That's six.
Six for the
That's
Sigma.
6 plus a kill after the res.
That is insane. And I think right there was a bit of a microcosm of these two teams' playstyles. You see OK Boomer try to work from one angle of the point, kind of set up on the bottom left from their perspective, and Redditors just surround them. Zoro on one end, Dr. Sensible near the Mega Pack on the coast side. J-Prod, oh, speaking of, takes out Narcane right here. It's a total kind of, they're jumping out of the forest and from all angles kind of deal.
Yeah,
Druid, though, does
like
take out Zoro.
ambush.
Yeah.
Yep, the Redditors are now down 1 and are forced to back up on the point. The Dr. Sensible gets a huge flux onto both the tanks of OK Boomer, and Captain Reddy falls to it. But, Stein and Rigel getting 2 more picks, or 1 pick each, I guess, and forcing the OK Boomers back to their spawn. Narcane trying their best to stay alive, just backing up.
Right.
And
They get
once again,
2 exit kills here, but it's not going to amount to much as 50% on the ticker here. And over there, Rigel and Stein were kind of on OK Boomer's spawn side where they slept and took out Druid.
yeah, I was watching that and I was trying my best to just kind of keep in the laughter, but speaking of keeping something in, the OK Boomers have funneled their way onto the point, forcing the entirety of Redditors to be off the point, but Druid and Narcane both popping their respective DPS ults, taking out 1 or 2 each. The Redditors getting picks on their way out, but unfortunately cannot win this fight.
No, they absolutely cannot. It's 21% and counting. Where the Redditors, they were stopped just at 69%. Nice, says J-Prod.
Nice.
He takes out Chinflex right there. But it was a costly fight there from OK Boomer. They used a ton of vaults, including the Bob, the High Noon, the Nano. They still have the grab that they're holding on for. But, like, who do you grab? They're all over the place.
And their best bet here is to probably get an opening pick with the grabs. If someone's on an off angle or someone's... Oh my. Speaking of off angles, Narcane just gets his head popped off by J-Prod from an off angle. And the Redditors is funneling onto point using every single ult available to them, saving the window for next fight, I believe, and are now well on the point.
Yeah, well on their way to potentially taking Ilios if they keep this up. It's been a game of the point constantly flipping between these two teams, but we're approaching last fight territory here. Narcissus has had this grab for several fights now, and it has to come up big here.
If the window's coming out, from the Redditors here. The grab coming out here from OK Boomers, but unfortunately not getting enough picks. But Stein does fall to it. This could be huge for the OK Boomers as they storm their way onto the point, getting picks left, right, and center. Flux coming out here from Dr. Sensible as a response to that, picking out both tanks and Sox. Sox falls to it, and now it's just a neutral fight between the two teams. Shatter comes out from Captain Reddy, knocks both supports down. Unfortunately, does not take out anyone from that, but he
actually did grab Rigel at the tail end of that, and I think that ended up being huge because Rigel usually has just always been off-angling, putting on constant pressure. With him down, there's a bit of a lease on life for OK Boomer here, especially because Narcane has the Bob too. There's not a lot of ults on the side of Redditors.
Both teams kind of having their respective playstyles be favored on their side of attack, I guess, I should say. Whereas the Redditors able to set up wherever they want to on their attack side, completely surrounding the OK Boomers, as you can see them currently doing. And the OK Boomers able to kind of funnel themselves in a narrow death ball on their way on attack. But on defense, find it hard to stay together, especially against the pressure from every single possible angle that the Redditors are providing here.
Yep, and now this whole hog from Zoro is out, and J-Prod gets Chin again!
Oh no. Chin's down. Druid pops behind her and unfortunately gets slept by Stein. Nora can getting the pick on a J-Prod, but will it be enough here? But also has to pick onto old Stoneface, but Rigel just popping off on the Sword of 76 on the legs, getting 3 kills that fight. And
I think that's it, cool.
Yep, the stagger's coming in from the OK Boomers, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
Yep.
Chinflex trying their darndest to get to point, but unfortunately eats a rock to the face, something that I have a lot of experience doing in OESL. And let me tell you, it does not taste good.
Oh boy, yeah, but what does taste good is victory, though, and Redditors up 1-0, taking it on Ilios here. So one map closer to potentially taking this, although OK Boomer definitely giving them a run for their money, bringing it to round 3, 99-99. This whole hog was insane. This is such a risky play.
23 health.
That is such a risky
23 health at the end of that barrage. Oh my.
Incredible stuff. This is looking like a great series so far.
Both teams playing out of their mind today.
Indeed. But right before we head to a quick break between maps here, just a huge shout out to Mr. and Mrs. Sammy G123 for donating $41 to the pot. Thank you so much for your contribution, for supporting OFC. It is super good to have you guys here. Also, you folks have raised an awesome son. I know I'm on his team, so thank you very much.
You have a first-hand experience here.
Absolutely. So with that, let's just head to a quick break as we get our next map set up. Well, don't go anywhere. We'll catch you on the other side with Blizzard World.
Yeah, I was watching that and I was trying my best to just kind of keep in the laughter, but big question coming in. The OK Boomers have found their way onto the point, forcing the entirety of Redditors to be off the point. But
maybe you will give a little time to me, and someday when I really need you, you will take me in your arms and you will say, always sure as the rising sun, always morning's begun, always the way that all good things come, always, 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 always.
Yeah, I've been running and running to keep it 100, it's all that I wanted. But lately I don't get the stomach. The higher the summit, the harder the plummet. They know me all over this planet. I'm just a man and I can't understand it. Proud that I win and I did it myself. Probably wouldn't if I got the help. Hearing subliminals all on myself. Feel like I'm breaking, I'm falling to hell. Told me I'm sick and I tell her, oh well. Rather be dead than to know that I failed. Live for the chase, life is a race. I'm out of space, when we get on my face. I got a taste, want the whole plate. Finna get laced, we step out of place. Like, first off, you don't run nothing. All talking, your team bluffing. My squad, we all dream crushing. We crush it.
Always. Can you hear me when I am way down here? Ooh, maybe you will one day walk away from me. Well, I stay close when the wind is howling, and never let me go. Always, sure as the rising sun. Always, mornings become always the way that all good things come. Always, 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 always,
Right, welcome back everybody from the break. We're about to head into map 2 of OK Boomer versus Redditors, with Redditors currently up 1-0. I'm still blank, joined still here by Cool Ranch 101.
Yeah, that was definitely an interesting first match, going back and forth all over the place. Both teams playing amazingly, whether it is as a team or individuals, just like playing out of their minds today.
For sure. Bringing it to a third round on Ilios that went into double overtime there. You love to see it. The schedule might not, because, you know, we do have a lot of games coming, but hey, more good Overwatch for all of us to enjoy.
And hey, more Overwatch, I'm not complaining.
Absolutely. So as a reminder, this is a qualifier, so this is first to 2. So if Redditors take this map here, they take the 2-0 victory and end the series, whereas OK Boomer have the opportunity to tie it up here, 1 apiece, and bring us to Watch Point Gibraltar. So we'll have Redditors on the attack here first, teasing a bit of a monkey ball dive comp, if I'm able to call it that. I don't know if there's a better name for it. The hyper dive, double dive tank. Nah.
I don't know. I was gonna say mech dive, but I guess both Diva and Ball have a mech.
True. True.
I guess it is just a dive.
Yeah, just hyper dive, super
It's
divey.
just-
2 non-human characters just jumping on your backline. And we'll see if that works out for the Redditors here as they're kicking off on the attack. On the defense, though, bit of a Ryan Zarya comp coming out from OK Boomer.
Definitely both teams once again running complete opposite comps. One running a death ball, one running a dive this time. Last time it was one running a death with OK Boomers running a death ball once again, and then last time it was the Redditors just running whatever that was. Whatever that was. It was there, but we don't know what it is.
So speaking of things that are there or somewhere, that was a better segue in my head. Dr. Sensible sets up behind the ledge there, goes in for the rollout. The purple is out as well. It's all in perfect synchrony, like just a weird jazz concert where there's a bunch of notes, all dissonant, all coming together at exactly the right time as OK Boomer are just decimated here. An incredible dive coming in from 3 angles from Redditors. The rollout from the ball and the purple just destroying the defense.
I was about to call that out as I saw Stein's nade just slowly falling back down, and I was like, this looks like a setup to me. We had that nade coming in clutch, Stein knowing all of his lineups. The Ana 1 trick of the league, as we call it.
And I mean, he does it again here with a quick kill on 3Dan on the Mercy. J-Prod was aiming for shot, but it's actually Stein who's able to get the kill, and Dr. Sensible takes out Druid as well, so no backline on the side of OK Boomer, unfortunately for them, as Narcane dueling Stein on the side here. Narcane actually gets slept, and this fight is ending so fast I'm barely able to cast it. The Redditors are just all over the place.
Yeah, Redditor's ending the fight before it begins once again. just like the last match. But yeah, thank you to On Counter who just tipped 1650.
That is
to-
fantastic.
Yep, to the pot. Again, an amazing cause.
A huge shout out.
it-
Thank you so much for contributing and for being here. As
Definitely goes a long way.
for sure.
But
Both
yeah.
these teams playing for two awesome causes, but more on that in a bit as Narcissus has now swapped over to the, or has been on the Hanzo, but gets the pick on J-Prod. So finally something for OK Boomer to kind of go in off. The Dragons are off from Narcissus, don't catch anybody, but Zoroaster on the other side is also in. Nanoed, but slept. Rigel though says, doesn't matter if my monkey slept, I'll still get the kill. Gets the pulse on Narcane, and Zoro's also got the primal for good measure as well. And the Redditors cleaning house once again. They haven't been pushing the cart, but they've gotten everything else done.
Between these last two fights here, the OK Boomers have swapped their tanks up into more of a divey style of tank line with the Monkey Diva, but with their backline not changing much, I think they're gonna have a hard time holding this. And as I say that, Narcissus gets, I can't pronounce his name.
Narcissus,
but,
yeah, he does get a pick on
Narcissus.
Stein, and his
Yeah,
name is hard to
Narcissus, I
say,
think.
and that shot was hard to hit, but he does it anyways. Captain Ready jumps in to try to contest, but isn't able to touch. The second point is capped as Narcissus takes out J-Prod again. This Hanzo refusing to go down without a fight, but Zoro, Dr. Sensible, and Co. all saying, buddy, you got a heck of a fight ahead of you.
He is back once again, but swiftly gets taken out as he has to face the entirety of Redditors. But yeah, I definitely love to see a Hanzo.
I mean, cool. What can OK Boomer do here, given the ult that they have to try to turn this around?
I mean, they do have the ult advantage here, but the Redditors are using each and every fight to kind of layer ultimates in a way to just keep building on their ult off of the last one. And with a 5-4 lead on ultimates here, I think the OK Boomers might have this next fight. Not many combos coming out here, but they could Nano Monkey just like the Redditors have done here as they start the fight off really early in their spawn.
Right. Zoro's already taken out Dirty Dan, but Narcissus did take out Dr. Sensible on the other side as Captain Ready knocks the transcending Zarya into the, or Zenyatta into the pit. That's massive. A huge play from the Winston from OK Boomers there. Might as well
And another one.
turn this. Another one too. He takes out the entire backline. The absolute madman.
Speaking of ult advantages, now OK Boomers both have the ult advantage and the point here, with 4 minutes left on the clock for them to defend. But I don't think this is going to be as big of a problem now, as they do seem to have their lineup a lot. How do I?
For sure.
Yeah, they have a better setup here, especially on the third point, where all the high ground here definitely favors the defenders.
Right.
But
Yeah.
as
I
I
mean,
say that, the Redditors are diving in.
for sure. But Dr. Sensible slept already. I think the defensive momentum is back in OK Boomer's favor, and although Captain Ready does go down here, Yellow Guy with a bomb on the other end to try to turn this, and that pick on Stein is massive. Narcane joins in on the fun, not just a projectile player on this McCree, actually out-sniping J-Prod here. And Dr. Sensible will come in, but that slam will amount to pretty much nothing.
And Redditor is kind of just trying to keep the space that they have claimed, but unfortunately they're going to have to back up here. But despite the OK Boomers using 2 massive ults here, it looks like they're going to win this fight. As Dr. Sensible comes back in with a huge pile drive into ult combo as he gets 2 picks.
Yeah, the last pile drive didn't amount to all too much, but this one does. The mines come out, the pile drive, immediately 2 players from OK Boomer down. Narcissus now swapping over to the Ash to try to make something happen here back off the Hanzo. But this cart is slowly turning the bend into the golden box. Well, not quite victory, of completing Blizzard World, I should say. Captain already jumps out. Druid almost has Nano too, but Narcissus is already out. It's just pandemonium on the back here. There's a purple on Dirty Dan who gets slammed against the wall, unfortunately for OK Boomer. Captain Ready slept as well. Druid taken out before he's able to use the Nano. Captain Ready and Yellow Guy doing everything they can to turn this. Zoroaster, though, the Primal says, you're not going to be able to do too much. And it looks like the Redditors are just firmly ensconced on this point, just taking out these remaining stall picks.
I mean, the Redditor is absolutely destroying the first and second point attack, but kind of got staggered a bit on the third point, especially with all of this geometry around the map. Simple geometry, as Narcissus says, getting picks almost every single fight. You got to love it.
For
But
sure.
yeah, it seemed like the roles almost swapped, where the Redditors are playing more of a coordinated team, like death ball style dive here, and the OK Boomers this time were playing more of their spread out, kind of get a pick from any angle you possibly can type comp.
Right.
And quite a reverse of what happened last map on Ilios, where it was the Redditors who really wanted to get the skirmish and get the 1v1s going, but this time it was the OK Boomers who decided to opt for that comp.
Absolutely, yeah. A bit of adaptation, I suppose, coming out from OK Boomer, perhaps trying to mirror that sort of play style. But I think the thing about it too is like that sort of skirmish style, if played well, works kind of best on control, right? Where the geometry is a little bit different, and you don't necessarily have kind of clear. I suppose I'm not sure what to call them. Sort of when you're going through sight lines too, but when you're going through streets phase on the attack, for instance. As the attackers, you know that, for example, this specific high ground is you need to be able to take that space to safely push the cart this far. You need to be able to take this choke to be able to. You kind of get what I'm getting at. Whereas
Yeah,
control,
and
it's a bit of a
that's why,
skirmish, right?
yeah, and that's exactly why they were able to take Streets phase in under a minute.
Precisely,
Which,
yeah. Just kind of
Which-
laser sharp focus on the space they need to take.
Yeah, the high ground definitely a very important thing on a map like Blizzard World. And as a Hanzo player, that's definitely what I like to abuse. But unfortunately, the Hanzo not able to do much when the entirety of the enemy team is in your face.
For sure. And now Redditors on the defense, showing their flexibility, running this kind of sturdy Rhine Sigma composition. They've got Dr. Sensible on an off angle, but it's going to be hard for anyone to really reach him, and he rotates before that can even be a problem. Because now Zoroaster pins across, rotating to protect the left side of this point here, but OK Boomer says that's no problem at all. Rotate around the other way. And now trying to get the presence on point are OK Boomer, but J-Prod taking out Narcissus is a huge pick there. The rest comes out, but a little too late as Zoroaster's already taken out 2 more members of OK Boomer. The wide pin there as well on Narcane, bring him all the way near his own spawn, where he will be respawning very shortly. A clean first defense here from the Redditors.
Definitely, the Redditors coming up on a lot of ults here. Almost have charged everything to 50%, whereas the OK Boomers are going to have a tough time getting ults, especially if they're going to be outpoked with the double shield comp of the Redditors. Having that Ryan Diva, which is now a Ryan Zarya, is going to make it so they have the advantage in the brawl, but up until they actually get to their faces, up until they get to the Redditors' faces, my bad, they're going to have a lot of trouble actually building ults here.
For sure. They
But
really have to manage
once
the
again,
positioning. Yeah, sorry.
Once again, I was saying, this is the power of the double shield where as you're rotating, you don't really have any protection against that with all that CC. And the huge shatter coming in from Zoro, cleaning up 3, almost blocked by a Zarya bubble, but only for Captain Ready there. That was a fast fight.
That was very, very clean. I mean, there's a pick to begin with, but then the shatter comes out from Zoro, and I mean, that's pretty much curtains for that fight. So now, OK Boomer kind of back to the drawing board, and they also did reset their off-tanks ult charge by switching to Zarya. They're 15% and counting still, so they can't really rely on the grab. I think they might have to use Narcissus' Dragon just as an engage tool, which is not usually how you want to use it, but hey,
I mean,
got
they
it.
could do to engage or split off their tanks, as Captain Ready does have the shatter here, which could be huge. And in comes the Dynamite from Arcane, getting a bunch of cleave damage, and as the Dragons come in to split the entirety of the enemy team, poor old Stoneface has to balance on the edge of Blizzard World, trying his best to stay alive. But he does stay alive, and a huge flux coming in here from Dr. Sensible, taking out 2.
Yeah, Narcane does take out J-Prod, which, again, J-Prod has been such a thorn in their side. Every time a fight's about to start, J-Prod's able to snipe someone from OK Boomer here. But that's pretty much all they're going to walk away with. Stein also gets taken out the tail end of it, but will be back in time for the next defense, given how Blizzard World is laid out. But now this is it. This is pretty much the moment that OK Boomer have been waiting for. They've come up to the Nano. The Valkyrie here as well. Cool. What's their game plan here? What do they need to do?
I mean, at this point, with the amount of ults they have, any combination of 2 or 3 ults here could win them the fight. They have the Bob, the Nano, the Shatter, and the Valkyrie. The only mistake they can really make is either use no ults or over ult here, both of which can cost them a lot. Narcissus on the Genji now, an interesting pick. And as I said, the Bob comes in and the Valk, allowing the team to stabilize and get some point pressure. But the Bob from Raido coming in, taking out 3.
Oh no!
And the Venom Mine of J-Pod taking out Narcissus. This is going to be huge.
But sort of fortuitously for OK Boomer, that fight ends so quickly, they still have one more go at this, and they didn't use all their ults. They used the Bob there, they used the Shatter, but they still got the Nano.
Yeah, hopefully this grab can come in fast, because this now is going to have to be used to build up another ult or to keep someone alive. They're on the ropes here. The ult economy is looking pretty even here. The percentages are a bit higher for the Redditors, as Captain Ready slams in and is almost immediately deleted.
Oh, the Shatter in the back.
Slam.
Cool, I think that might be it. Captain Ready's purpled, and it has almost no HP to speak of. Well, now definitely no HP as the Redditors are able to clean him up. J-Prod with 2 here, and a celebratory Nano on Dr. Sensible. It'll be the candle on this birthday cake, because the Redditors looks like they will be taking this series 2-0. Did I say birthday cake? I meant celebration cake. Either way, cake is good.
Cake is always good. You couldn't have said it better, Blank. But yeah, definitely a well-played defense off the Redditors.
Right.
That's something you cannot break. And as we see here, the play that kind of fixed it all for them, that huge bub taking out the entirety of their backline with the Valking Mercy.
Yeah, that was just nasty. You called it. Like, I don't think they expected that. And frankly, as the caster, looking at this from a bird's eye view, I didn't expect it either.
Yeah, I saw Rigel on the off angle, but I would have never expected the Bob to come out there, especially with that massive dynamite right before it.
Indeed, yeah. Zora with 29 kill streak here makes my monkey main heart very happy.